Welcome back, new Falcon families. My name is Scott Franzblau. Again, I am the Associate School Director of Culture at Byers, and I'm so excited to get started on video number 2 in our orientation series. Our objectives today are to learn about the Byers Middle School elective program, sports, and clubs, hear answers to your questions from last week, and have clarity for next steps in your process in the orientation process. This is our who we are statement at Byers, and this week we are going to focus on these two sentences here. The students have the opportunity to explore their identities academically, personally, and socially, and together we work to cultivate relationships and support each other to be our best. Middle school is such an amazing and dynamic time for human beings. There is so much growth that happens, and so much of that growth is going to happen at school and through your school relationships and context. So we're going to hear first from a parent of a Byers student who is now in 11th grade but started with us in 6th grade on how Byers relationships has affected her child.
Hi, my name is Marcia, and our daughter has been at Byers for 6 years, and we feel really grateful that she's been able to be there and grow from a quiet, a little unsure of herself 6th grader to a rising senior who's filled with confidence and been supported by her teachers. I think socially the teachers connect with the kids and they know who they are and they help them find themselves and find their people. Academically, it's amazing. All of the support both in and out of the classroom. And I think watching our daughter grow from her in 7th grade, she had a wonderful math teacher, and then as an 11th grader was able to do her internship with him, and to watch their relationship grow from teacher to student to peers was really, to me, it was like the epitome of the Byers experience.
We completely agree with Marcia that relationships are so core to students developing their own confidence and identity about who they are and how they want to affect the world. And other ways that we also believe that students develop their own identity in middle school is through exploration of different things. And electives is one way that students explore a lot of different topics. And so we're going to move into an explanation of our elective program now. First, we're going to start with Avery from the class of 2024, who's going to share her experience with electives.
Okay. Avery, what has been your favorite part of electives as a Byers Middle School student?
For my favorite part of electives, I think if I had to choose one, at least this year, I really liked music. All of them, I think, are really beneficial with computer programming specifically. You get to learn how to code computers, and I think that'd be like a really great career path if you're interested in that. I think gym class is also really good because we're sitting around most of the day, and it's nice to get up and run around. It's not my favorite to get up and exercise, but it is fun with the activities that the teacher plans out for us. And for music this year, we've started some really cool projects. Like me and my friends are doing the podcast project, and I've had a lot of fun recording it. We've had some really stupid and really just ridiculous conversations that we've had over it. And it was just really fun to get to do that as well.
And so here is some more detail on our programs and electives. So PE is a 3-year sequence. You'll see that it includes a lot of different options, different curriculum that Samantha Barton, our PE teacher, leads students through. And one thing that we're really proud of is that students also, in addition to getting out and getting moving, like Avery said, they're also building a lot of soft skills through team building. And here's a perfect example of what team building looks like. And so that, of course, for students to collaborate and create and choreograph and then perform their own performance requires a lot more than just physical skills. And we're so proud that we combine that in our PE program. Next, our digital arts program is a 3-year sequence. And I'm going to lead you through what it actually looks like now. So here's an example of students who are getting at elements of design and also starting to code websites in HTML in 6th grade. In 7th grade, students are starting to code their own games, video games, which is just totally cool and amazing, as you can see here. And then in 8th grade, students are not just, they're coding, but they're coding apps and digital scenes. And so they're starting to move into like practical applications and also just starting to see how the world that they inhabit, the digital world, is actually created. So whether it's for career exploration or just simple fundamental vocabulary that is more and more common in our world these days, digital arts is a really positive experience for our students. And then finally, music. In our music program, students are learning how to use their voice as an instrument in 6th grade and getting all the foundations of musical theory. So whether you're already a musician or not, this class will bring you up to speed so that you can perform, as it says here, in our choirs, which is a Tri-3 tradition in 6th grade. In 7th grade, students then apply their musical theory to the piano and start to compose. That also then develops students who already have musical background or do not in music. And then finally, in 8th grade, students are now composing songs using 12-bar blues. They're telling stories in music, and they're creating podcasts. Here's a quick snip of what it looks like to create storytelling through music. And so, as you can see, this was composed by one of our 2024 class of 2024 students. So that is the elective program. We're so proud of it, and it really allows students to try out a lot of different things. And trying out a lot of different things is so key to the type of development that we hope for all of our students in middle school, and so our sports and clubs. There are so many optional opportunities for both during the school day and after school, and I'm going to run through what some of those look like. Of course, we have our formal like sports programs where it's intramural. They're playing students from other schools in the city, and there's a lot of opportunities. We have 2 teams for many sports, and then we have other teams like cross country where there's no tryouts. So there's a fair amount of opportunity for everyone who wants to participate in a sport. And then here's our list of clubs, which of course it changes every year. The clubs that are in bold are clubs that are led specifically by students and their families in our school. And we are so proud to have them. And some of them change over time. So those that are in parentheses, we used to have, and they might come back. If you don't see a club on here that you want to be part of, you absolutely can and should create it, because that's how we have some of our best club opportunities for students. Students and parents, if you are sitting on an idea that you just cannot wait to express, please reach out to Bailey Manning, and she will connect you with the appropriate staff member who can help you bring your club idea to reality. Again, we're exploring how students' identities develop in middle school, and sports clubs and electives are just huge parts of that. And we are really proud to continue to grow our program, and will be growing our program while your child has their time at Byers. And next, we're going to answer questions from last week. So thank you so much for submitting those questions in the survey. Please do it again this week. Here's our first question about, do we go on field trips? If so, can you give an example? Yes, we go to all these places listed here. All students have the opportunity to go on a minimum of 3 field trips a year, and these field trips are purely for fun. When you show the core values at Byers, we honor you. You deserve that honor. It is hard to do that. You're doing the hard work of preparing for college, and so we go to all these different places, and these trips are purely for fun. So you'll go on at least 9 field trips, all for fun, in middle school. Another question was, what year was the building built? I really appreciate the architecture. We do too. And we are celebrating our 100th birthday this next year. William Newton Byers formerly lived on the property. Some of his trees are still there, but his mansion was sold to, donated to DPS in 1919, and it has been a middle school ever since. Interestingly, it was controversial at the time to have a middle school, since most schools were K-8, and the middle school junior high movement was only new, and Byers was part of those early junior high schools. Here are some pictures of what our school looks like outside and inside, and we absolutely love this building, and we're so grateful from it. Another question was, since we can't go into the school now, can we get a tour in the summer or a virtual tour? What we can say is that a virtual tour is coming in next week's video. We are going to film it so you get a sense of what the classes look like, the hallways look like, and everything else. And we are excited to share that next week. Another question, is advisory split by gender in middle school? The answer is yes, it is split by gender for advisory. And then this is how it combines to form a homeroom. So in 6th and 7th grade, it's very straightforward, and so I'll explain it this way. You have a boys advisory and you have a girls advisory. For example, the UNH Wildcat boys and the CU Buffalo girls. They combine to make a mixed gender homeroom. And homerooms are how students spend 95% of their time. So we are a co-ed school. We do separate advisories by gender, and that offers a lot of good opportunities that are developmentally appropriate for boys and girls. But students still spend the majority of their time in. All right, what is most important right now? I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bollinger, who actually was that teacher cited in Marsha's video earlier, who's had a 6-year relationship with one of his students and who is now his apprentice this year in her 11th grade year. Here's Mr. Bolo.
My name is Steve Bollinger. I go by Mr. Bolo. I was a founding teacher at DSST Byers, and I currently teach Math 1 Honors to 8th graders. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about home visits and why teachers get really pumped for that opportunity. As a teacher at Byers, everything we do is relationship oriented. We spend a lot of time and energy building and cultivating and maintaining strong relationships with students and families and with each other. And home visits are one of the first ways in which we can engage in that work with students and families. And so it's also just really rewarding to sit down with students and families and talk about our core values and answer questions and concerns they may have. It's very, very normal to have concerns when you're joining a new community. And so more times than not, all parties, students, families, teachers, leave home visit space like feeling energized and excited for the coming year. It also relieves a lot of tension about joining our school community. So we get really, really excited to do them, and we look forward to hosting a home visit with you virtually in the near future.
And so today I just want to highlight and stamp that we still have 100 more families that still need to sign up. So please, please sign up. Our Byers staff are ready to go. Home visits are never forgotten by staff or students, and we're excited to do them virtually with you this year. Next, we're going to have Mari Cruz Rincon, our registrar, also share an important action for families.
Hello Falcons, my name is Mari Cruz and I am the registrar at DSST Byers. At Byers, I help families and students with students' daily attendance, student fees, student enrollment, and onboarding. Today I would like to talk to you about our annual family update. Annual Family Update allows parents to update students' information online before registration in the fall. We would like to encourage both our new families and our returning families to fill out the Early Bird Annual Family Update, which began May 1st and will go through May 31st. DPS asks that all student information is verified every year. Please go to dsstpublicschools.org to find the links and to find the steps to fill out the annual family update.
Thank you. Please do that. It is really important. And so here's a summary of the actions for all families. Submit your attendance again today. Thank you for doing it last week. We also ask that you do it again this week. Please, if you haven't already, complete the virtual home visit signups and follow Mara Cruz's directions for the annual update. Students, again, get your questions. We love you to follow us on social media. You are part of our community. Get to know us in the coming weeks and see all the excitement around seniors graduating and how we're honoring the class of 2020 this year. Bye-bye, Falcons.